Good morning, YouTube. This is WakMed19. Let's talk about the education system just a little bit. Now you may be wondering why I'm even worrying about this video. It's because so many people are wasting time going to school. It's kind of silly for a lot of people who are in high school to continue to go to high school. Now, first of all, this is not an advice column. This is a think about it column. This is you shouldn't just do whatever it is that you see or hear on this video just because I said it. You should definitely talk to your parents and family, whoever's involved in this, and make sure that you are having a mature conversation with them. If you're not mature enough to have this kind of conversation with them, then you're not mature enough to make these kinds of decisions, to drop out or to do extra or different kinds of schooling, because you have to be able to move into the real world, which is what this conversation is about. Also, if you're planning to go to an Ivy League school or an elite college, then this is not going to be applicable for you either. And for you foreign folks that are English speaking, I can't imagine that your system is a whole lot different. However, it very well could be. I don't pretend to know about the education systems anywhere outside of the United States, mainly. Most of what people go to high school for is social interaction. Okay, when you go to high school, it's about the people that you meet, learning how to be a well-rounded person, and the interactions that you have with your teachers, being able to fulfill responsibilities and roles, learning how to study, and hanging out with friends. That's what college, or that's what high school is about. So the education's not even listed in that list. It's kind of secondary. Now, the things that you learn in high school are better how to study English, are better how to study history, and history that's more focused for you in the real world. Also, some advanced level science from stuff that you definitely aren't going to do before you have the coordination and the math skills to do those things in sciences. It's really to give you exposure for what you want to do in life. Now, math skills you're going to continue to increase on. However, they also fall into another category, which is you can always go to a college class for math. Is the exact same as it is in high school. It just on that other level, which also you get credit for. When you get out of high school, you get a high school diploma. This is equivalent to a GED, and anyone who tells you that it's not equivalent to a GED is insulting everyone with a GED. That is what a GED is billed as, is the equivalency to getting a diploma. It used to have a really negative connotation to getting a GED, but you can do everything with a GED that you can with a diploma, with very few limited exceptions. So if you're not going to be going to these elite schools and you're not worried about building your scholarship resume, there's no real reason to be in advanced placement classes. There's no real reason to be in honors classes. After all, what I'm calling the main focus of high school is social interaction, social integration, being able to get along, and to do this with a goal-oriented theme behind it, which is to get your diploma, to move on, to get out of school. And it's really a waste of time. A real waste of time once you get to about 16 years old, which is a sophomore, which means you'll have your junior and senior year left, your last 2 years of high school. It's mostly social stuff, so that's what you're gonna miss out on. Now, understand, these are 2 really cool years. These are really cool years, and the things that you're gonna miss out on, you will never, ever, ever, ever have the opportunity to go back and to relive these things. You'll never have the opportunity to graduate if you drop out. You'll never have the opportunity to go to the prom. You'll never have the opportunity to have your class out there on the graduation field and be a part of that. You are taking away from your parents and your family the opportunity to see this, and you may discount this at whatever juncture you're at as an I don't care item, but you shouldn't. That's kind of a jerk way to think about things. If you are ready to move out of high school and to start college, then you are ready to do it at 16 most of the time. You can keep up with most of the college classes, and there are several ways to do things. And again, this is not an advice column, but one way is to stop going to high school at 16 years old, get a 2-year AA degree, which sets you up for real, big classes in college. It gets you to 18 years old. And then you can do all kinds of things. You can move into a 4-year university. You can go into the armed services. You can go into the reserve. You're 18 years old and you have a 2-year degree. You're ahead of everyone who just graduated from high school. Every single person that just got out of high school is 2 years behind you at this very same moment in life. Now, what are these 2 years? They are getting you closer to retirement. They're getting you a bigger retirement. They're building your resume even taller. The summer jobs that an 18-year-old gets, they are not as good as the summer job that an 18-year-old with an AA gets. In 2 years, getting that AA or prepping for college or getting an AS in something, which is a more focused field, which is usually not recommended, by the way, this prepares you to move into real life, and it does it in a way that gives you a baseline of education that is superior beyond college. Understand right now that I'm not advocating no education. I'm not advocating a lessening of your education. What I'm advocating is a time acceleration on the education that you do get. If you leave high school, you should go to college, straight on into college, and start getting real education. If you don't go to college, the military, dropping out and going to work is not what I recommend. You really should enjoy that social aspect, because you're going to work for the entirety of your life. You're going to retire an old person, and you will have never made the kind of money that someone who went to college made, with very few exceptions. Now, if you drop out at 16, go get your AA, and then get a 4-year degree, then at 22 years old, you can start a career making 6 figures, and rightfully so, you have earned your education to get there. You can get the education done quicker if you start on it sooner, or not quicker, but you can be done with it quicker in your life if you have started on it earlier in your life, is the better way to say that. This is not the best option for everyone, but it is something that should be considered, considering what you don't learn in high school. If social interaction is that important to you, you definitely should stay in high school and enjoy that social interaction. However, if you are ready to get into the workforce and ready to start working for something and actually seeing a result for what you do, then you need to get into college as soon as you can. Other ways that you can start building your resume as a young person are to go into OJT type programs in your high school, if your high school offers them, and that is on-the-job training. That is that, for the first half of the day you go to high school education classes, and for the second half of the day you go to work somewhere and you start building your resume and learning the skills that it takes to do a job, to do a specific job, so that whenever you do graduate from high school, you can make more money in that specific job. Again, this is not something that I completely recommend, because, and not that any of this is a recommendation, but it's not something that makes a whole lot of sense to me, because again, all you're doing is preparing yourself to work for the rest of your life in a job that it's going to be an hourly job. Your benefits are going to be something that you complain about. This is maybe a job where you are part of a union and have to go on strike from time to time, which means no paycheck from time to time. This is the kind of job that a lot of people complain about. And sure, you can make a good enough living to take care of your family. In a lot of cases, a lot of Americans do. A lot of people do. However, this isn't the job that has all the fringe benefits of being a good job. Another way, and a way that your parents would probably rather you do, is dual enrollment, where again you spend the first part of your day in high school doing high school classes, and you do the second half of your day in college taking college classes. this is probably the better way for most people if they don't have parents who are progressive enough, or at least in enough agreement with them that they should move on into real life. And if you're worried about the GED thing at all, and can't find enough education from your guidance counselors, from your local colleges, then this is a really good option. You do dual enrollment. College for the second half of the day. The big benefit here is that you're starting to understand what college is like. You're starting to do those classes and getting credit for classes. You're getting credit hours, and usually I think these are cheaper when done in high school. I think that with the high school enrollment still in place, that the tuition rates are decreased, or maybe the books are paid for or something. I'm pretty sure that there's special grants and stuff out there. Don't quote me on that, but consider it. College is required to make real money in life. If you want to have a six-figure salary, you need college. There are extremely few exceptions to this. And let me tell you that a six-figure conversation is the one that you should want to have. This is the kind of money that you need in most places in America, in most places around the world, to be comfortable, to have extra spending money, to be able to have a full library of games and not have to worry about, how do you go into all of the situations where six figures is how it gets accomplished. Not exactly sure, but I do know college is the best way to get there. At least a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year degree, levels being bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. At least a bachelor's degree in pretty much everything is what you should be going for. Again, high school is not for everybody, but education is. Education is what everyone needs, and the sooner you get started on your college education, the sooner you can get to your retirement, towards your retirement, and the more money you can have when you retire. These are really far in advance thoughts, and it may be something that you have never thought about before, but it should at least be considered, and for the academic purposes, if for nothing else, check that out and see just what it would take to start gaining your college education and building your resume towards being all that you can be, and being the highest earning you that you can be. Because you don't want to have to focus on money for the rest of your life if you can be comfortable and do what it is that you love to do. Let me know what you think. Again, this is not advice. Don't go doing something brash just because I'm awesome and I told you to. Definitely always discuss things with your parents, and my recommendation personally is to also pray about it. Thanks. Have a great day.